Hello, my name's Laura Charleton. I'm a senior lecturer at Kent Law School at the University of Kent. This presentation, which has contributions from two finalist undergraduate law students, Lauren and Anthony, is on uncoiling the impact of internationalisation at home, law student perspectives as COIL participants, and the case for co-creation. This arises out of a COIL initiative I have been facilitating for the past 4 years, connecting current undergraduate law students at the University of Kent in the UK with their counterparts at the University of Bordeaux in France. I'm particularly interested in the impact that participation in this COIL has for the Kent law students, given that it is an entirely optional extracurricular initiative. This is in the context of a widening recognition of the impact that internationalisation at home initiatives, such as COILs, which are but one example, has for the participants in this type of activity. The concept of collaborative online international learning, or COIL for short, is something you're probably quite familiar with. The basic premise, of course, is that it gives an opportunity for students to remain in their home country or country of study, but to work collaboratively whilst online with students around the world on a shared project. The Kent Bordeaux COIL is embedded in a curricular module at the University of Bordeaux and is an extracurricular initiative for Kent law students. The student participants take part in a Zoom call at the start of the opportunity, whereby they are paired with different students from the other institution throughout the call using breakout rooms in order to briefly chat and find out something about that other student based on themed rounds. The responses that they receive are then entered onto a shared Padlet, which, as you can see on the screen, is a lovely visual record of the Zoom meeting. Thereafter, having had the chance to meet with several different students, the students are asked their preferences for who they would like to be paired with for the COIL, and we try our best to meet their preferences. There is a roadmap for the opportunity which sets out the coming weeks. Initially, students meet once a week using a technology of their choice for face-to-face discussions. The discussions are themed around different topics. So, for example, we start with the education system in the country, then we move on to the legal system, moving eventually to the students selecting a topic of shared interest that they would like to research and work collaboratively to prepare a presentation given by the students from Bordeaux, whilst also both students creating a logbook of their interactions. You can see some examples from the logbooks on the screen, along with the certificate which students gain at the end of the initiative. I wanted to find out the impact that this 6 to 7 week opportunity has on the law students at Kent, and so I'm joined by two of the law students who participated in the last iteration of this initiative, Lauren and Anthony. I asked them some questions about why they participated and the impact that their participation has had on them, plus whether there is any feasibility in co-creating this project in order to make improvements and perhaps expanding. Okay, please could I ask you to introduce yourselves? Shall we start with you, Lauren?
Hi, I'm Lauren. I am a final year senior status student at the University of Kent in law, and I'm from British Columbia, Canada.
Thanks. And Anthony?
Hi, my name is Anthony. I'm a third year law student, and I am from Hertfordshire.
brilliant. Thanks very much, both of you. So I wanted to ask you, first of all, why you decided to sign up to take part in the Kent-Bordeaux COIL opportunity. Anthony, you go first.
The reason why I wanted to sign up for this experience is because it's a kind of a once in a lifetime opportunity. You get to know people from different jurisdictions. I'm not really outside speaking to people like that, so I think it'd be a really important opportunity to speak to more people in an area like this. So I thought it'd be interesting.
Fab. Yeah, thanks, Anthony. And for you, Lauren, why did you sign up?
I signed up because I wanted to have a bit of additional sort of work in addition to the other work that we do for our degree. But Canada has been impacted by both the French and the British legal systems, but also cultures. And so I thought that it was a really good complement to the degree that I'm doing here, to both bolster my knowledge for when I go back home, but also to be able to meet somebody else, to push myself out of my comfort zone. Like Anthony said, I'm a bit shy sometimes, and so I thought this was a great way to meet other students and to learn about how French students engage with the law and about their legal system as well.
Great, thank you. And I suppose the focus of this discussion is really on the impact that the opportunity had for you. So maybe Lauren, could you perhaps tell us, having now finished the Kent-Bordeaux COIL, what sort of impacts have you found that it's had for you?
Well, I've been able to make a friend, which is really nice. We've been able to sort of maintain that relationship and friendship since the sort of program ended, which was just a few months ago. And we keep in touch and chat a little bit, and so that's been really nice. Learning about another culture is always amazing, and to be able to hear about it from somebody there who's studying the French legal system was wonderful as well. And then the project that we got to do, I really enjoyed, and I thought that just really enhanced the learning that I've been able to have at the University of Kent, because it was something I hadn't been able to explore in my classes so far, but it was a topic that I was really interested in. So I really felt like I got to expand my knowledge base.
Great. And same question for you, Anthony. What impact do you feel the opportunity has had for you?
The impact really demonstrated my organizational skills. So when it came to making lessons and project planning for the students, you were able to balance your time with your studies whilst helping others. I also found that it helped to my communication skills. Speaking to different people from different from France, it really helps you to understand what it's like being in their shoes, studying pretty much what I'm studying as well, but from a different country. So it really helped me to understand, build my confidence, communication skills with those other people.
Did you find you had to adjust how you spoke about it because you were perhaps speaking to someone in their second language about the legal topics?
Yeah, so I really tried to make sure when I was talking, it wasn't too sophisticated. Law is a very sophisticated subject. When it comes to saying about the terminology, you can mess things up because people won't be able to understand certain things. So I made sure that I made it more understandable to someone that doesn't speak English. So I made sure my language was much more simple, and I explained it in a way where they knew things that you can transfer it from different places. So the UK has the same issues that might come to France. For example, one of the projects I did was on environmental sustainability with my partner. So I was really able to make sure that topics I talked about were similar to things that he also had experienced. So there's more similarities, but also because he's able to develop that when it comes to speaking in a more simplified, pretty much tone. So he knows where I'm coming from. We have similar topics that also correlate with UK and France.
And Lauren, you mentioned about the project that you did with your partner. I wonder if that sort of comparative approach to thinking about different jurisdictions or legal problems from different perspectives, whether that's something that you have found you've taken into your studies at all?
Yeah, so we focused on looking at the decriminalization of drugs, or how that discourse has sort of manifested, or what the criminalization of drugs looks like in France, the UK, and then Canada as well. And so I found that really helpful, just to be able to understand, from a starting point, how each different jurisdiction deals with drug distribution, in their own ways, and then so we're able to sort of compare and contrast and then think about how each jurisdiction has decriminalized or thought about decriminalizing or talked about it. And I found that really helpful, just to think through just different ways that countries might deal with different problems, how they talk about it, the different solutions that they come up with. And then that sort of you can take into other courses as well, just thinking through different legal problems just helps you be a bit more solutions oriented. How to think through a problem differently has been really helpful, and to be able to see things from a different perspective.
And now that the opportunity has finished, thinking ahead to if it were to run again, maybe with a different cohort of students, do you think that it would be useful for myself or a colleague to work with those students to sort of co-create the opportunity, so perhaps to shape it more with sort of student voices being involved rather than simply academic led? Lauren, what do you think?
I think there's always opportunity to work with students to sort of come up with creative and innovative ideas that sort of meet them where they're at. And that will, I think, no matter how many, when you have more people around the table creating an idea, I think that really helps sort of push the boundaries in terms of what we're doing and do something that's really creative and innovative. Yeah, I think it was really well done the way it was done this year as well. But I think there's always, students can bring interesting ideas to the table for sure.
And how about for you, Anthony?
I think it was really well structured. This is my first virtual experience, so for me, I found that it was very it wasn't too academic based. There was a lot of time for the students to build a rapport and make friends and communicate effectively with the people that they were assigned with. So I think it was really important. There was project diaries, there's ways of communicating, not even when it was over, but after as well. So after it was finished, we was able to communicate more. It was very orientated it was more fixed on the me and my student that I had. So it was really interesting when it came to that. I don't think it wasn't invasive at all, because I feel like when it's a bit too invasive, it feels like people won't be able to understand certain things as well because they have no one to direct them, essentially. So I feel like when it came to this, it was very more open, it was laid back, and people were able to learn more when it came to that as well. They felt more, it was an environment where nothing was too forced.
Great. Oh, that's interesting. So having the space or the sort of freedom to make of it what you want, sort of thing, exactly. And not being too prescriptive, exactly. And also leaving that space for there to be legal content, but also more informal discussions, that sort of cultural content as well is useful. Yeah. Okay, great. And would you say it would be useful to try and expand out the opportunities to other jurisdictions so that you would have the opportunity to be paired with law students from other parts of the world as well? Lauren, would that be helpful?
Yeah, I think that would be really interesting because, I think no matter what you do, the more we can sort of those discussions that we can have in different jurisdictions, the more you'll be able to sort of really enhance students' learning. I do like what Anthony mentioned in terms of it being flexible and you being able to create what you're really passionate about. I found that allowed my partner and I to really be able to create a project that we were both really interested in, that we both felt like we could, that we were invested in. And so even if we were working on it on the weekend or we had other stuff coming up, you're sort of excited to be able to work on it as well. And you still dedicate the time because you've had that time to be able to pick something that you're really, really interested and motivated by.
Great. Well, thank you both. I've summarised some of the impacts that came out of the discussion with Lauren and Anthony. For my part, it's interesting that we could think of some of these aspects in relation to employability skills, in relation to graduate attributes, in relation to cultural competencies, and in relation to soft skills. Going forwards, there seems to be some scope for working with students to refine the current project and expanding it to include other jurisdictions. There is also the opportunity to think about embedding this into a curricular module here at Kent, and I'm interested to extend this into a research project. Here are some resources that I hope you'll find helpful, and I'm really looking forward to furthering this conversation with everyone at the conference.